Howdy, folks, and welcome back to Storytime with Ben Drew. Today, we are looking at an update to ChatGPT that's actually incredible. And the best part of it is that it's been rolled out to free accounts as well. So you will be limited in the amount you can create, but I'll show you exactly what I can do on a free account, and it's amazing. So I wanted to revisit building storybooks and leveraging ChatGPT's story creation and image generation to create bespoke learning resources. So I wanted to make a children's picture book to support math, and so I thought about skip counting, and I wanted to make a challenge, so I did odd numbers and skip counting backwards. So let's dive in. So I'm just going to run through kind of what I went and did. So I need a 10-page storybook to teach kids about skip counting. I would like to skip cat down, and I like the numbers to be odd. I want the number to be the main character in the story, and he decreases by 2 due to a reason I can't think of. Because I can think of like how you could count up. Maybe he's eating a lot of food, and he grows by 2 each time. I couldn't think of it. So then they give me the odd one out's great countdown adventure. And the story concept, and then the pages. Meet 19, the oddest number around. He hears a whisper about the great odd puzzle at the end of the line. To move forward or backward, he must become 17. A riddle on the tree says, 2 less makes you wise. Take a step and shrink your size. So I got this, and I was like, I like that rhyme. Kids love rhymes. So I said, a little too weird for me. I was thinking like he was growing and it was about eating or vegetables or something. So I was like, that wasn't it, but I still don't know what I want. And then it does like about eating like vegetables and like losing weight. And I was like, I don't want to do it about losing weight. Give me creative scenarios for him to shrink instead. Then it got real weird. He rides a bubble through the sky and pop, the bubble bursts. He does a silly dance and a troop of giggling mushrooms. Every twirl makes him smaller. Twirl, twirl, twirl. And maybe I'm not, a big elementary guy. Maybe this will be a hit with kids. I was like, this is still really weird and out there. So let's go magical, but I want it to rhyme. It gave me this, but then I was like, that's still really weird. He tiptoed across the marshmallow goo and met a small dragon who taught him kung fu. He bowed with a grin, light as can be. A puff of smoke swirled. Now he was 3. I was like, I don't know. So a little less weird, please. Then I finally got something I liked. 19 was cheerful, bold, and bright. He loved to count stars by night, but one cool breeze brought something strange, a glowing book with pages that change. He read the words with wonder and thrill. To find your way, you must shrink until the final number, odd and small. Just take 2 steps with each spell's call. So I went through, I was like, okay, finally something I can kind of jive with. Now I said, now I need image prompts for each page. I want it to be whimsical in a Dr. Seuss type way without saying Dr. Seuss in the prompt. Sometimes if you like try to reference an Illustrator style, it'll be like, oh, we're not allowed to do that. So I was like, don't write that into the prompt. I want it in the 16:9 landscape format. So then it comes up with image prompts for each one. I said, I want more detail to ensure a consistent visual style, because one thing they've done is stepped up your ability for consistency. So then I just said, okay, let's start with page 1. Boom. Here's page 1. 19, reading magic book. Okay, great. Let's do page 2. I noticed, it's a 19 again, and it's supposed to be 17, and there's a mushroom. So one thing I was like, I just started copying, pasting the actual prompts in. Sometimes you can just say, hey, okay, you've got the prompts up there, just read them. But just to make sure you're okay, I'd copy and paste the prompts back. And then bang, I got a little 17 with a face. Then I did number 15, bang, with the squirrel shrinking stew. Number 13, boom. Number 11, boom. Number 9, boom. And then I realized at this point, like, some of them are a little 3-dimensional, and then some of them weren't. So I went back and said, okay, make the 9 3-dimensional, and also make the 13 3-dimensional. So there we go. Number 7, boom. Number 5, boom. It was starting to depart, like 7 was a little off from the style. This was even more off, so I said, it's not really fitting the style. So they kind of made it a little thinner and kind of more in the vibe. Number 3, boom. Number 1, boom. And then I needed a book cover. I noticed that it was doing it in the wrong orientation. See, like it's a long format instead of like a horizontal. So I got a little mad. Come on. And this was the point where I hit my wall. So I was able to basically generate the entire book, come up with a script, create all the images before I hit a limit on the free account. So everything I've done here, you can do it on a free account. And it gives you a bunch of image generations. This one is like, I find the thing with the limits is it changes based on how many people are using it. Now ChatGPT is pretty overloaded right now because they rolled this out to the free accounts. So what I did is I threw it all into Canva. And the other thing is there's a couple things about the image generation that came out. One is it's really good at words. So you see like this baked the title onto the title page. And then I have my 19, my 17 with the story. And I have done ones where I've actually got them to include the words in the image, but there still can be mistakes, so it's easier to just do the words and the images separate. He walked through the woods where bluebirds flew, and squirrels said, "Try my shrinking stew." He took one sip, it felt light and lean, and gently turned into 15. He crossed the stream on stepping stones with croaking frogs and mossy tones. He skipped 2 stones, then in between he blinked and landed as 13. He met an owl in a tree so high who said, "Say odd," and touched the sky. He stretched his arms and whispered, "Odd," a gentle breeze, 11 he trod. The meadow hummed with bees and sun. He chased the shadow just for fun. He spun in circles on the line and laughed and shrank to number 9. The fox appeared with fur so red. "Try this time," the fox then said. "Skip 2 back and don't you stop. A little skip and down to 7, pop." He followed fireflies through a glade where children danced and music played. He joined the fun and took a dive through sparkling light, became 5. He found a gate made out of trees. It opened up with passing breeze. He tiptoed in so full of glee and softly shrank down into 3. One final step, a whispered cheer. He saw the end was drawing near. A mirror stood beneath the sun. It smiled back. "You're number 1. A little odd, but oh so bright. He skipped, counted down just right. There it is. Children's story. Easy peasy. It did take the image generation does take longer, but the nice thing is that you set it to do the image, then you're doing something else. You don't have to sit there and watch it create everything. So while this took an hour and a half to generate, it didn't take me an hour and a half of working on it, if that makes sense. The last thing I want to show you is kind of a fun thing you can do, is that you can incorporate yourself into stories. They have this new feature where you can upload a picture of yourself and then turn it into, so you might see like all these anime images, these Ghibli-ified images of memes and things going on all around the internet. This is coming from ChatGPT. I said, "Write me a 6-panel cartoon about a man learning about density." And then it comes up with 6 panels about this guy thinking about density, why things float, why things don't. So then I upload this little picture of myself. So I said, "Can you turn this into a claymation character?" And then boom, here's a claymation character based off of me. So I said, okay, for each, create an image prompt that would recreate that scene. So panel 1, and then it's giving me a prompt. And then I said, I want all the text included on the prompt so that it's generated in the picture as well. So now it's including all the text. I uploaded that picture. I said, generate panel 1, please. I've attached a reference for Dave. This is who Dave is going to be. And then boom, Dave had one question on his mind. Why do some things float and others sink? So you can see how it's really come along in terms of text. Question mark, they're the same size. Why does this one sink? And he's got a soda and soup. But I messed up. I didn't tell it the format. So I wanted a 1x1 square instead of like a long 9x16. So Dave is learning about density. What is density? So then I was like, that's not what panel 1 prompt was. So I had to remind it, this is the prompt you gave me. And then here we go. So then I noticed we have a typo here on HiMind or on HiMind. They're the same size. Why does this sink? But you see Y is also messed up here. So while it's doing a good job, it still can cause some issues. So I actually went in and edited it. And so if you click on your image, you can actually edit your image. So I went like that is supposed to be the word Y. And then I typed that in and it worked. It fixed it. But then I only noticed on High Mind after. It said his, not high. It didn't really fix it. I was like, well, what's the point? I'll just generate a new one. I didn't want to be like battling with this. So I said, let's limit the amount of text on each of the slides. So I said, redo the prompts. Little text as possible while still teaching the right message. Then I got the prompts that I liked. And I said, remember, this is Dave. So boom, we have float or sink. Same size he's thinking. Panel 2. What? So you can just edit the image by talking to it. So I said for this, get rid of the thought bubble because it's just randomly there. I didn't like it. Show the soup sinking and the soda floating on its side. Basically the same exact photo, but it got rid of the thought bubble. The soup isn't sinking that much, but this is floating on its side. Great, now panel 3. Now I'm in the library reading about density equals mass over volume. And then panel 4, panel 5. I didn't like this one. I was like, the key should be under the water, the apple should be floating further up, and the dinosaur kind of in between. And I said, kind of make it a cross section. And then boom. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then finally I said, okay, panel 6. And then I said, oh, make me a title. So just write Drew learns density out of clay on a blank background. With only a couple edits, like it just shot it all out. And this is, I just threw it into Canva and arranged out the squares and it came up with this. And you can see panel to panel, it's the same character. So I got each one. It's so much easier to make a consistent character now. You can base it off of yourself. I could have tweaked it a bit more. You can see from the thumbnail, I turned myself into a felt puppet guy. So it's never been so easy to create a bunch of resources for your class. You can do it on the free account. It takes a little more time, but you can do one a day, so it's still pretty great. Or you can pay for a license and you can pop out become this whole author, this children's author. Anyway, that's it for me for this week. Check out ChatGPT and the new updates with image generation. There's so much to explore. I was using it to create GIFs. Like this, I uploaded my face. I said, turn me into a wizard with flaming eyes. And I said, make it a sprite sheet so that it would be the same character. And I was trying to make like a GIF of my eyes flaming up. And like, it's not the greatest, but playing around with it, there's lots of like great ways to leverage this and have some fun with it. Alrighty, so check it out and we'll see you in the next one.